Hey everybody, and welcome to the Truck King channel. So right beside me today is truly going to be the star of the show, the 2024 Tacoma. You know, it's only every 7 or 8 years that we get a new Tacoma, and quite honestly, it's probably more than 20 years since we get one with an all-new frame. So there is a lot to talk about on this truck, a lot to show you, so let's get started right now. So we got a couple of models of the new Tacoma. We're starting with the Limited, and the way we're going to do this today is this is a static display. We can't drive it, sadly. I'm here, Steven's behind the camera.
Hey folks.
We both got opinions, so you know what? We're going to start going through this because there's a whole laundry list of stuff to tell you, and then we'll comment on what we're seeing.
Exactly. So why don't we start with the new powertrains, Dad? Because there's only one new engine here, but you can get it in a whole different variation of tunes. So let them know about the engine.
Exactly right. So this is the standard I-Force turbocharged 2.4 liter 4-cylinder engine. Makes 278 horsepower, 317 pound-feet of torque. So that is your base plant. Now you can get an available I-Force Max, which is also the turbocharged 2.4 cylinder. However, it adds a hybrid powertrain, and that gives you a total of 326 horsepower, 465 pound-feet of torque. What you're actually getting there is a 48 horsepower electric motor, and that's paired to an 8-speed transmission. There was a ton of speculation over the last year that the manual transmission would go away, but it has not. We still have a manual transmission, 270 horsepower, 310 pound-feet of torque. I mean, the fact that they've kept it, I think, is really a nod to the fact that Toyota's listening to their customers, because people like you are commenting on channels like ours, and trust me when I tell you that those guys are reading this stuff.
Absolutely. And we also do have to just clarify, the manual is gas only. You cannot get a hybrid manual. Once you go I-Force Max, it's 8-speed only, which we were kind of hoping we'd get the hybrid manual, but those are really rare, and I think the engineering is really expensive to make that work, so we didn't get that, but there you go. So Dad, Limited here, this is top of the line, man. This is full luxury. This thing has all the features you're gonna get on a Tacoma. And you can just start by talking about the styling. So when you go for Limited, you're getting things like all the chrome accents. You're getting a unique grille up there, of course. Color keyed over fenders, the body color bumper, 18-inch chrome clad wheels. Go ahead and go open the door there, Dad, and we can show them. You're getting power running boards, which to my knowledge is a first on a Tacoma. Oh, of course, they're not going to work.
They're not worked right now.
So these are pre-pro models. I wonder if it's just because it's a pre-pro.
And either that and or the button's just not on right now.
Yeah, but there you go.
And one of the handlers took the keys because they were scared we'd drive off.
It is nice to have the power running boards here on the Limited as well. And then why don't we go around the back and show them the bed, because there's a ton of new stuff back here.
Yeah, so I wanted to just quickly talk about styling too, Steve, as you're
Sure.
absolutely right, because the key things here is, first of all, don't mess with success. So they haven't changed the look of Tacoma that much. You can still spot this truck coming down the road and you know exactly what it is. However, the one place where they decided to kind of make a statement was right here with these wheel arches, front and back, and just these kind of new accent lines in the sheet metal. And what that's all about is they want you to have that sense that you're a desert racer. So, in other words, whether you ever get into the dirt or not, they've pulled these fender flares out, you know, giving you the idea that maybe you're running on 33s.
Yeah.
And it's okay. I like it. It's a good look.
Yeah, they even told us that they benchmarked Ivan Ironman Stewart's old Toyota race truck that he raced in Baja. They actually released some photos of it too. You can see them right here. But yeah, it's a cool looking truck, and the styling, I think they nailed it, because they didn't go quite as far as they did on Tundra, right? Tundra was polarizing. I don't think this is as polarizing.
Yeah, no. And you know what? When you're selling Tacoma, which sells so well already, the trick is not to change as much as it is to try to stay the same so you don't annoy your customer base.
Totally.
So we are getting some new fancy things. Again, we're looking at the Limited here. So we've got power down tailgate. This has the buttons right here to the side of the tail light, and they're actually on both sides.
Yeah.
And I think as Steve pointed out to me earlier, this is a lesson they learned from Tundra, because originally the button was only on the one side.
Right.
And I think a lot of people were complaining that it should be on both sides.
Probably.
So as you'll notice, all you do is you give it a little yank and up she goes again. So short of that, on the business end, it's it's a truck bed. Here we go. However, the weird thing that we're both still kind of scratching our heads over is that this plastic bed is got absolutely no grips on it.
No texture. The current Tacoma has a bit of texture to it to make it a little less slippery.
Oh,
This
almost
seems
like what you
extremely
find
slippery.
here on the top of the sill plate.
Yeah.
You know, like this sort of thing, so that if you were to step on this, you can grab. And I'm scared to death the first time this thing gets rain or snow on it, I'm going to end up ass over tea kettle.
Definitely seems slippery, no doubt about that. Now, one other thing to mention, Dad, they say the bed has 7% more volume, and I ask where they got it. It's all height. It's about an inch taller than it was before, so you're getting a little bit more volume because the bed's just a little deeper than it was before.
Yeah, fair that. So we've got the power outlet again in the back, but I also got to note that this is 2,400 watts, which is everybody knows that Toyota's been giving us 400 watts for the longest time, but 400 watts is basically enough to charge your cell phone. Now 2,400 watts, on the other hand, you can do quite a bit with that.
Exactly.
So this actually becomes a real camping feature. As far as having a power station there for whatever you're working on out there.
Yeah, that was a smart idea to put the inverter in there.
So you'll also notice the in-bed lighting on both sides, as well as up in the chimsel. And that's really cool too, because a lot of people, of course, are going to put a tonneau cover on here. So the chimsel light doesn't do you a damn bit of good once your tonneau cover's on. But with those lights coming on inside, you can actually see where you lost all your stuff.
Absolutely.
So
another cool thing, Dad, maybe you can show it off. There's a bumper step on there too. And that was something that debuted on Tundra. But there you go, the little pops out. Kind of handy, right?
That's not as good as the GM, but it's better than nothing.
Fair enough. And now here's maybe one of the most interesting things, especially on a Limited. Do you know what these things are?
No idea.
They are high lift jack points.
Oh, I read about it, but that's actually the jack point.
And at first, when I read about it, I figured for TRD Pro and Trail Hunter, that's great, but they even put it on the Limited. So for some reason, you are miserably stuck, or you got to get the back end of that truck up real tall.
Well, it makes sense
They got a
because
spot.
when you add something like that, which has to obviously be connected to the frame, then you might as well give it to everybody. It's already on there.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, that's a load on the outside. Oh, you know what? Before I forget, one other thing, Dad. The Limited, we get AVS, which is the active suspension system. I don't really think I can show it off to you all that well. But yes, the shocks in the back here are active. They are constantly changing their damping force to make sure this thing is riding smooth down the road. And the Limited is the only model that gets the AVS, of course, which debuted on Tundra and Sequoia.
Yeah, but okay, so a little less than that. You might as well point out that we're also finally getting disc brakes.
Very true. I forgot about that.
Okay,
yeah,
so we got disc brakes at the back here.
And that was a constant complaint about the Tacoma. We get the discs now. Why don't we hop inside now, Dad? I feel like we've covered everything out here. Maybe we should go in there and see
Let's go have a look.
Well, let's take a look inside now, Dad. And like we said, this is the Limited. This is the luxury truck, and it looks pretty nice. And you're getting features like a 14-inch multimedia touchscreen there in the middle. In front of you, you have a 12.3-inch digital gauge cluster up there, which is pretty cool. A head-up display, heated and cooled front seats, heated steering wheel, JBL audio with that removable speaker. I'll show you that in a sec. But you know what, Dad? Answer me the most important question right off the top. How is the seating position?
No, it's fantastic. It's something I've been complaining about for 20 years. And let the internet erupt, because I know there's guys who swear that they don't mind the old Tacoma seating position where your ass was dragging on the floor, but I never liked it. Always left me with sore thighs and sore ankles over a longer drive. Now I'm sitting up. I've got an actual floor pan. Thank you very much. It's fantastic. This is what we've been wanting for so long.
Absolutely. So that's definitely a big deal. Now, the other things you'll notice is sort of some of the cool looking materials. I don't even know what to call this. I guess it looks like real wood. I don't want to say it's fake. I think it is real wood.
Yeah.
So you got some nice inlays there around your Tacoma badge, which is kind of nice. And then here, let me show them the JBL speaker. So up here, you press that button So, and out pops your Bluetooth speaker. So when you're actually driving, this thing is just part of the stereo. And then if you want to take it out and, you know, hit the beach or you're camping and you want your tunes with you, you can take them with you. So that's pretty cool.
Nice thing
What
too
else?
is there's attention to detail here. All right, I mean, things like this center grab handle for your passenger. This is where you get to tell them to, you know, sit down, shut up, and hold on. And lots of room in terms of where you can store stuff, particularly shoot that door, Steve, because you see not only the spots for your different bottles and whatnot, but even above that, you got this sort of fake molly set up where you could stuff it full of whatever, you know, but because I hate loose stuff rolling around.
Sure.
So it's nice to have a spot to put everything.
Yeah, it seems like there's loads of little spots. Well, very nice. Yeah, it looks like they've upgraded the interior quite a bit.
Okay, so that's a quick look at the new Limited. Bottom line, if you want Tacoma and you want all the bells and whistles, well then this is your baby. However, we've also got a TRD Sport, which is a little more kind of like mid-level, so let's go have a look at that. All right, Steve, so let's have a look at the TRD Sport.
Yeah, so this is TRD Sport. This doesn't come with the standard hybrid like the top of the line models do. This is just the regular turbocharged engine. Although what's exciting is this model here today has the 6-speed manual. So I'll just reiterate the numbers. With the manual, 270 horsepower, 310 pound-feet of torque, which are pretty good numbers. I can't wait to actually get out there and drive this thing. And I mean, Toyota did follow the trend in the industry of getting rid of a V6 and going small displacement turbocharged, but at least they're offering that hybrid too, which is gonna make it unique. Now, one thing we didn't touch on the Limited, but we have to talk about because it's right in your face, is that massive plastic air dam down there. And the reason they put those on there is fuel economy. It does help a lot with aerodynamics. When you lift a vehicle, it just gets that much worse aerodynamically. So that's gonna help save a bit of fuel. And I will show you, a lot of comments on our initial video said, where are the tow hooks? Well, they do still exist. They're just up here inside this plastic air dam. So they put these big cutouts here so you can get to these recovery points. And of course, I think that's a really big deal. Every truck should have an obvious place where it can be towed from. And so it's nice that we have this.
Yeah, but Steve, they're not red.
You're right, they're not red. Maybe on the TRD Pro or Trail Hunter they will be, but here they're not.
We'll have to see that. So listen, last night I was sitting with one of the Canadian Toyota executives, and I was mentioning about how low that air dam hung, and he just looked at me and he said, "It's not an air dam, Howard." He said, "That's a standard snowplow on the Canadian edition."
And it really does look like it, and we're gonna have to wait and see how the market goes, but I think we will very quickly see customers buying Tacomas and taking off the air dam.
Yeah, absolutely. Air dam delete.
Yeah, it's just not a good looking thing. So the other thing I mentioned the AVS on the Limited. Here on the TRD Sport, we also don't have leaf springs anymore in the back. This is a coil spring rear suspension. Only the base models, SR and SR5, they still get leafs. Every other Tacoma model, though, has gone away from leaf springs, and you do get those coils, which, I mean, you know, the industry seems to be going that way, Dad. We're getting so many more trucks without leaf springs, but the suspensions are so capable, I'm not sure it matters. In day-to-day livability, it's better.
Yeah, it's better for ride, without a doubt. I mean, it's a comfort issue, and so long as you're not getting into heavy towing, which you shouldn't be in a midsize anyway,
exactly,
it shouldn't be a problem.
Sure. So we can hop in real quick now. And before I get in, maybe you can go in and show the manual, because I'm probably going to block it once I'm in there. But you can see, yeah, there's your 6-speed manual.
There it is. There it is. It's real. There's a 6-speed manual, and take a look at the floor. There they are. 3 pedals. 1, 2, 3. So, yeah, this is kind of cool. I mean, we're happy about it. We like the manual.
For sure. And you know, probably the craziest thing, Dad? This manual has auto rev matching. That's a sports car feature. That's something you'd expect in a Supra, but they actually put it here in the Tacoma, which is just, I can't wait to drive it. And for those of you who don't understand that, let's say you're shifting, you know, fourth back up into third. In the middle of your shift, the engine will actually blip its RPM so that when you put it into third, there's none of that lurchiness, none of that jerk that you can sometimes feel. It's just absolutely smooth shift. So I think that's pretty cool. And then I got a comment on it too, because now I'm sitting in here the seating position is so much better. I'm up off the floor, my knees are at a proper height, I'm not looking through the top of the windshield. Yeah, everything about this feels really, really good.
And I thought you were a traditionalist. You wanted to set your ass on the floor.
No, I couldn't do the other Tacoma either. A couple other features while I'm in here that I think I have to mention. You do get 3 auxiliary switches now over here on this bank, and those also come on the top-end off-road models, but those are great. There's so many people adding accessories to their trucks nowadays that it's nice to have. And Dad, another crucial manual transmission feature that only Toyota offers: clutch start cancel, and it's still here. Clutch start cancel is a very cool feature. It's really niche. There's not a lot of reasons why you'd need it, but for super hardcore off-roaders, clutch start cancel is going to mean you can start from a dead stop, let's say on a crazy steep hill, with 0 rollback and also total even power delivery to all 4 wheels. It's a unique feature, only Toyota has it, and once again, I'm happy they didn't get rid of it. So I guess the other thing we got to mention is just the way it looks, right? You talked about the overall styling, but TRD Sport is unique from the Limited, which is unique from the Pro. You might have noticed the hood scoop up there. Sadly, that is not a real hood scoop. It's not actually doing anything, but if you like the style of it, well, then you do get some pretty
Well, and
cool
this is
style
very
here.
much a chrome delete package too.
Yeah,
so
very body
everything is, you know, we're either black or it's all body color.
Yeah.
And then like really cool little accents. I mean, like these flow throughs here, right through that front fender, because they figured, well, you know, why create more air drag? So they're actually letting the air move through there, even though they've pulled that fender flare out.
Sure. Yeah, no, I think the styling looks awesome. I love this color too. I mean, I'm partial to blue vehicles anyway, so yeah, I like it. We can go take a look at the bed here on the Sport too as well. There's a couple differences. We also still get the buttons here, so you do get the power down tailgate, which is nice, and then everything else inside is about the same, although we have to point out when you don't get the hybrid, you only get a 400 watt plug. So to get all of that power with the inverter, you have to get the hybrid model. If you get only gas, you're only getting 400 watts, but I guess still nice to have a plug, right? That it never hurts.
No, absolutely. I mean, it's still good for what it is. But at each stage, you're going to get what's appropriate.
Yeah. Now, of course, you do have a 2-inch hitch receiver. It's kind of a funny looking hitch receiver with all this big steel face on it. I don't really understand that, but whatever, it's going to work for you. And I guess we should now point out that with the hybrid, this truck is good to tow 6,000 pounds. This one, as it sits with the gas engine, is good for 6,500 pounds of towing.
I should mention also that, and I don't have the exact model, but top payload is now just over 1,700 pounds.
Yeah, which is a great number. It's the old story of, I don't know how many of those we'll see in the real world, but still, over 1,700 of max payload. If it's spec'd correctly, that's definitely a good number. You know what? I guess we might as well talk about the 2-door model real quick. It's not here. You're not going to see it in this video. But yes, there's a new extra cab model. So they've actually gone full 2 doors. And maybe the coolest thing, Dad, is that it's a rear seat delete. You can't put 4 people in there. The back seat is all about storage, lockable storage. But yeah, what do you think about just Toyota bringing back the 2-door?
Well, the fact that it's a 2-door, and you know, it's the kind of truck that so many purists have been asking for.
Yeah.
Now I want to see if they'll put their money where their mouths are.
Yeah.
Because I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. I grew up with those types of trucks. I have a soft spot for them, but you know, will people actually buy them? Well, Toyota has answered the call, and now we'll see what kind of sales we get. It'll be cool to watch that.
Totally. And for all the Canadians out there, the extra cab is coming, just not at launch. So this truck is going to launch in late 2023, and then the hybrid's going to come online in early 2024. But they didn't tell us when. They just told extra cab is coming to Canada, but later. So I would guess late 2024. That's my guess.
I'm happy that we're getting it, because initially there was some rumblings that it would be US only, which didn't make any sense to me.
Same. And for all the Canadians out there, Tacoma will be 4-wheel drive only. That's no surprise. We're not getting the 2-wheel drive model north of the border. I don't love that decision either, but that's super common. Everybody does that. So I think we've pretty much wrapped it up here on Limited and TRD Sport. You know what? Overall, I think Toyota nailed it. I don't see a lot of things here where I'm going, oof, why'd you do that? What's going on there? Styling's good. The powertrain scene buttoned down. The next step is going to be for us to drive, pull a trailer, go off-road, and see how it feels. But right now, I'm happy. What do you think? Yeah,
I can hardly wait till we get to that point. But, you know, being that this is just a static walk around, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10 right now.
Yeah, I'm pretty much on that page too. maybe 8.6 out of 10. I'm
Yeah,
not
well,
quite that
you're a
optimistic.
pessimist.
Well, folks, I think that's it for this one. Now, please, why don't you go down in the comments, let us know what you think of both of these new Tacoma models, and stay tuned because we're also going to do another video with the TRD Pro and the Trail Hunter, the cool off-roaders, so watch for that here on the channel. And yeah, like I said, go below, leave us that comment. While you're down there, don't forget to hit like, hit subscribe, hit join to become a member of Truck King, and then come right back here to see some more brand new Toyota Tacomas. See ya.